What is up, you guys? Welcome into the last day of the 12 days of Wolfmas. So far we're up 43-38. I'm playing at one of my favorite spots tonight for the last video, Agua Caliente, here in Palm Springs, California. And yeah, we've made it 11 days, up $4,300. I'm gonna try to make a little bit more for you guys. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, comment down below. And at the end of this video, I am picking the 7 winners. I can't believe it's coming to a close. It's been an absolutely epic video series, and I'm grateful for all the support and the growth this year, and I'm happy to give back and get you guys out to Champions Club for a live stream in February. Let's get right into the hands. I don't want to bore you guys. Let's go. Before we get into the video, I have to tell you about the MVP performance from my handsome content producer, Lucas. I mean, we just filmed this video about 3 hours ago. He put it together while I was filming at the table. I was sending the files up on Drive right after I played them, giving him the hand histories. It's kind of on us for being the last minute Joe over here, but we got this video to you right in time. And from the time that I'm doing this audio, it's 3 in the morning. It's going up at 6 a.m. How absurd is that? So shout out to Lucas. This guy, under the gun. Under the gun's a strong position to raise from, so everyone be careful. Everyone's scared right now. You raised? Yeah, you can tell. It's only fitting we are ending the 12 days of Wolfmas with my favorite hand, first hand of the night from under the gun. I raise it up to $15. We're going to get 5 callers. Off the flop we go 6 ways, which comes Queen, Jack, 7, bang, we flop bottom set. Actions on me, I bet out for $50, and Lucky in the small blind puts in the call, bringing in the 4 of spades. I would expect Lucky to check it over to me under the turn, so when he fires out for 75, seems like he's trying to set the right price with a straight or flush draw. I'm going to have none of that. $75 is the price he lays me. I'm going to triple that up to $225. I'm not going to let you set that price to get there with your flush.
It's nice to be a vlogger and just get called light.
Lucky decides to put in the call. Off to the river we go, which brings in the front door heart draw, but gives me a boat on the Jack of Hearts. It's an action card, and Lucky jams for $255. This smells like a flush. I check my cards once again to make sure that Pocket Sevens has delivered for me, giving me the boat on the river. I put in the call. He turns over 10-9 of hearts, so a combo draw there on the flop. The open-ended straight plus the flush draw gets there on the river, but Pocket Sevens takes it down for me. $1,150 coming over my way, and if you appreciate that and you like Pocket Sevens as well, the link for my hat is down below. It's a pretty sick one. I got my wolf logo on the back. We're taking down hand at number 1. Jumping right into the second one, I look down at the crabs in the big blind. Yes, the crabs are pocket 3s for all you newbies out there. There's a limp and a raise. Actions on me. Will I come in for a 3-bet? No, I decide to just put in the call, and the +2 does as well. We are going 3 ways to the flop, which comes 8, 4, 3, bang! We flop bottom set again, back-to-back sets. It's only fitting. The poker gods are on our side for this challenge. Action checks over to the villain in the hijack, who fires out for $35, and I decide to spring the trap right away. He might have some ace-king suiteds and some king-queens and stuff, but he's also going to have a lot of overpairs, so I'm trying to pile the money in now. I make it 125 to go, and the +2 position decides to call. The action comes around to the hijack, who decides to fold. So kind of a weird situation here. I raise the hijack C-bet, and then the +2 cold calls, so that's pretty strong. At that point, I'm putting him on pocket 8s, pocket 4s, maybe a hand like 8-9 suited, ace-8 at the worst. Other than that, 5-6 would be a draw. The turn comes the 6 of spades, making a little bit less likely he does in fact have 5-6. I decide to check it over to him and see what he does. He goes by Lawyer Joe and fires out for $385, and it's kind of a chunky bet. Keep in mind there was 362 in the middle, so it's an overbet, and he has around 300 or 400 more behind. At this point, I'm thinking about either jamming or folding. And how could you say that I'd think about folding in this spot? Well, what is he representing here when he cold calls my raise on the flop and then bets the turn? I would expect a lot of his 8x to check behind on this turn in position. So yeah, when he bets for 385, I'm putting him on pocket 4s, pocket 8s, and then just some random airball bluffs. I decide to save you guys some money.
Tell me your hand, I'll tell you what to do.
I have a set. I think I'm going to fold. I think I'm going to fold a set. and fold a set. Yes, I am going to fold pocket threes in this spot, and I think it's such a big fold that I decide to show it to the table. Everyone's in shock, and lucky for us, Lawyer Joe tosses us his cards. What do we peel? 2-5 of spades. We made the correct fold. He had an open-ender, and the turn gave him the 6-high straight. And look at that. I bet you guys would have flamed me down in the comments if I didn't get to see his cards. But thankfully, Lawyer Joe showed it for me and saved me a bunch of hate in the comments. Let's go. The very next hand, we raise it up to $15 with pocket sixes, and we get 5 callers, which means we are going 6 ways to the flop, which comes ace, king, 7, rainbow, and the action checks through on the flop. Turn comes the 4 of hearts, and the action checks through once again, bringing in the deuce of spades on the river. I decide to fire out for $50 at this point. I'm trying to get a hand like 7-8 or 7-6 to fold. At this point, if someone has an ace or a king, I expect them to call me. I also might be able to get value from queen high, I guess. I mean, I don't really know what I'm doing here. I fire out for $50, and luckily everybody folds, so we're going to take down that hand. Moving into ace jack of clubs now from the hijack. Our stack has ballooned up to $1,500, so we're up $500 on the session. There is a straddle and a limp. I decided to make it $50, and we are going to get 5 callers. So if you guys need any reason to come to Palm Springs other than the beautiful weather and the golf and the pools and Coachella, I mean, the action here at Agua Caliente is absurd. We are going 6 ways to the flop, which comes king 10-3 with 2 clubs. Flopping ourselves a overcard, a gutter to Broadway, and the nut flush draw seems pretty great. So when the action checks to me, I fire out for $100, and we get ourselves 3 callers. The turn's a disaster. It pairs the bottom card coming the 3 of diamonds, and I decide to slow down and check. I don't really feel the need to bluff here on a paired board. Someone can easily have pocket 10s in this spot and be trapping. When the action checks through on the turn, the river card comes the 4 of diamonds, and now the straddle fires out for $600. Andrew on my right jams for $1,200 effective. I snap fold. The button does as well. The straddle thinks about it for a while and announces that he has a boat, and then eventually does decide to call. Andrew says, if you have a boat, you're good, man. Turns over ace-3 of hearts, and the straddler shows king-3, so 1 pip better than Andrew there. He's got the boat and is taking down that massive pot. All right, we are in the straddle, and you know the poker gods love a straddle, so we pick up the jiggities. Villain on the +1 makes it 40, and Andrew decides to jam the rest of his stack in for $570 over a raise and a caller. Is this tilt? Is it a good hand? Well, we're about to find out, because I am going to jam for $1,300 effective, and luckily nobody else has a better hand than us. They both fold, and we are off to a run out. Asked to see his cards, and he shows me pocket 7s. Bad news for him, because pocket 7s never let me down when I'm up against them. And sure enough, the board runs out clean. We're taking down that $1,200 pot. And yeah, things are just going my way tonight. Wrapping up the session here, we got a few more hands. Ace-Queen offsuit from the low jack. I make it $30 to go, and we get 2 callers. Off to a flop, which comes ace-9-4, and the action checks through. I'm in between 2 opponents, so I usually start with a check. Turn comes the 9 of spades, and now the small blind leads out for 55. When we check the flop and the opponent bets out here, nothing to do other than call, keep him on the hook, and the river comes the 5 of hearts. Small blind slows down and checks, and I may have had 1 or 2 beers tonight, so I kind of messed up what position I was in. I thought I was out of position against the small blind, but he checks, I check, and I would never check behind with a pair of aces. I thought I was out of position and was going to call another bet, but instead we are taking down $200, so can't be too pissed about that. All right, 7-5 of diamonds now from the hijack. I raise it up to 15, and the cutoff is a stinker. He makes it $30 to go. Wow, that's some high-level play right there. That's going to bring in a bunch of other players, and I decide to complete, bringing us off to the flop multi-way, which comes 2 diamonds. Pretty great for us. 10-8-4 with 2 diamonds, flopping the gutter to the 6, and the 7 high diamond draw seems pretty great. I start with a check. Cutoff fires out for $25, and I'm already thinking about going for the check raise up to 100 to 125. However, the button has other ideas. His name's Rob, and he makes it $75 to go. Can I just fold here with a gutter and a flush draw? I think that's a little bit nitty. I decided to toss in the call. The only problem with that is if the cutoff decides to come in for a back raise to like 300. But luckily for us, when I call, the cutoff decides to call as well, bringing in the queen of clubs on the turn. Not the card that we wanted to see. I'm going to check in flow over to the villain and the cutoff, who checks over to Rob. Rob thinks about it for a few seconds before checking behind, bringing in a board pairing 10. I don't snap check here. I think about if I can bluff with my 7 high, but having 2 diamonds isn't great because I block a lot of his bluffs. And the 10 on the river would be a card that probably hits Rob pretty well. He would bet the flop with like an ace 10, king 10 type of hand, and then he would check turn and bet river. So when the action checks over to Rob and he bets it pot for 365, nothing for me to do other than fold. And unfortunately, we will never see because the cutoff folds as well. That last hand in the books, we get our thumbnail picture, stacking our chips up high. It's been an amazing series. We cash out for a profit of $731, which brings our total to over $5,000. Let's bring it to the outro to see exactly how much we made, and let's pick those 7 winners. All right, and now the moment of truth. After 12 long days, we have come to a conclusion, and this is how much money I have made. My apologies, but I had to film this before knowing the results of day 12. Just the time constraints, posting every day takes its toll. However, we have picked the 7 winners using a random comment generator. Robin, Colby, Aldo, Sandro, Pluck, Jake, and Drayton. We checked those, of course, to make sure they commented on all the videos, and unfortunately, only 3 people remained. Colby, Sandro, and Jake made it to the next round, and we had to pick 4 more people to fill the void, of course. Out of those 4 people, 3 people made it through. We got Chris, Patrick, and Marissa. So kind of a sweat there, leaving 1 spot left to one of you lucky winners. We ended up picking Bon Scotty, who did not pass the check. Then we picked Strombonio. He didn't pass the check as well, but finally, Twisted6996 is the 7th lucky winner. I'm going to be contacting all of the winners, and in the next 48 hours, I need a response so I can set up the flight and the hotel. Now, if there is something that comes up where the people can't make it to the February 3rd or February 10th date that we're going to be doing this live stream, of course, I'm going to be picking a few more people. So make sure you comment and go back on all the videos so you don't miss the shot like a few of your fellow subscribers here. And I'm going to go back and pick a few more if need be. But as for now, those are the 7 winners, so congratulations to you. We're going to put up the total up here, exactly how much you're going to get in free play that day. And then myself and my editor Lucas are going to come down to Houston as well and play on that live stream, either February 3rd or February 10th. The date will be TBD, and then we're going to do a meetup game the next day. So if you're in the area, come through. It's going to be a fun time. I want to say thank you to everyone for watching this challenge. We got over 3,000 entries, which was absolutely absurd, and we got a ton of views and new subscribers along the way. We're going to do this next year per usual, but as for now, I'm going to be signing off. A lot more fun videos coming your way. I'm going to play with the Buffalo Bills. We've got some other cool things going to Antarctica. But thanks for watching, everybody. I'm going to sign off now, and shout out to the 7 winners of the 12 days of Wolfmas. Bang!
Is that Wolfgang Poker?